Now, we have seen from older photos with sort of a qualm, we seem to be coming across more and more nowadays. From the gate there, you can see clearly the driveway goes along to the front of the chateau, but also there was I'd like to think a shingle drive, and it went all the way round the chateau, completely round, and round past the coach house and joined up there, which would be really nice at some time, maybe to consider reinstating that. I've seen some photos, it looks gorgeous. But off there, off where we are here, it's not really obvious, but I'm pretty certain, I've seen photos, and I think this is the evidence you can see in the grass. There's a pathway that comes down to the park, and I'm pretty sure, I'm almost following it where it would have been. It then curves round and then works its way over, if I can point to it, to here where there was a small gate opening, and then that would drop down into our really large field. I'm only going to guess this, but I think from this point along the edge of the forest and all the way across, and I haven't looked at this with respect, I reckon there was a small wall. Now we have this small woodland. Carol absolutely gets petrified now because I'll just scan up. When it's windy, she's convinced that these trees are going to come down. They feel like they're the height of the chateau, actually. And then behind there, as I said earlier, is the large field we try to let the locals use for the events. And in fact, still there is the ramp when we had the cycle event here. This is where we held the music concert on the front, on the lawn here in front of the chateau, off Wonder La Rue, which was a major success, and I hope we do it again. So coming down our driveway again, over here is a building we didn't even know we had. So when we bought the place, we didn't even know about the lavoir. We had bamboo right out and bushes to the cobbles here. This was all bamboo all the way back. One of the first jobs we did when Alf actually and Val came over is all four of us, cleared this right back. In fact, it needs doing again because it's starting to come through, so unfortunately it's going to have to be dug out, those roots. As you can see, we uncovered the lavoir, which is missing the metal railing that goes all the way around. The well, which I had to sort out. Some had just gone when we had the drought. And that's, although it's electronically pumped up, it's all working. And then over in the corner, although I need to clear it again, we have outside toilets, which again, we didn't even know was there. I had that completely cleared, so no complete access, I mean. That bamboo is the worst weed ever, or as bad as ivy, I think. So again, this summer we'll get that all cleared up. Whether I do anything with the roof, because there's so many other jobs going on, I don't know. But I thought I'd show you it. So on the coach house, as you can see, one of the first things we had to do was replace the rotten doors on the front. So now we've got some security just to put things in there. Right, so the left-hand side doors. This one at the moment's just become my windsurfing. That's my second love, which I keep in this room, which is where the cattle, or actually, before we bought it, the old owner was keeping the sheep. And this then, I'm assuming as you come round, is the old saddle room. But all of the timber work in here, apart from the actual floor boards, all the joists are in great condition. So I'm actually looking forward to eventually getting my hands on this. And what I'll do now is I'll go through the other door, which takes us upstairs. And all this is in good condition as well, into the top of the coach house. So this floor spans the whole of the coach house, but as you can see, the boards themselves are not particularly the best. Hence why you've got me talking and not Carol, because she won't come anywhere near this, it'll stand on any of this. Again, pointing on the brickwork's all good. Floor joists, sorry, the roof, beams, etc. Very good condition, really are. They've had a Velux window put in, so it's got good light in here. As I said, it really is crying out to be converted. Now this is the floored parquet floor, and I took out of what we're calling the snug room, which has become our temporary kitchen, which I can sort through, and I'm hoping to use it, even maybe in this building, when I find out which stuff is rotten and isn't. Windows, see, let plenty of light in, that Carol did. So we're coming through now, we're coming into the middle of the coach house upstairs, where we got the Dove house. The floor needs replaced at some time. Gonna have to put a window in there, but for the moment I've temporarily put in a perspex panel just to keep it watertight. Right, now we're coming through to the last part. This floor is, well, you can see by the light coming through, is very bad. So if suddenly the phone drops, you know why. Could do with the Velux window maybe at some time in here, but I'll work my way over to the, hopefully standing on joists. But it is a fair size, and I think when we've got round to making this, some bedrooms up here, living room, kitchen, it'll be a really nice place actually to live. But again, you can see all the pointing of the stonework, excellent condition. The original door over there where the hay bales were probably thrown in. And then back we go again. So the other side of here is the courtyard. So again, you have great views into the secret garden, etc. Right, so that was a tour of the coach house. And so we have a top field here, which I've only just managed to get back last year. It was completely overgrown. Not quite sure what we're going to do with it. I know Carol's got some ideas, but we'll see on that. And then walking through, up here's Carol's orchard, as she calls it, where she has been growing all her vegetables and strawberries, etc. You can see they're the raised beds, and those were all the joists I took out of the first floor. So all the rotten joists, or partially rotten, seems silly binning them. So we've just reused them and to do that. But what a difference that will be once the spring comes around. Anyhow, over in the corner here, there was obviously a building there, as you can see. You can just about make out the roof profile if I try and draw it, which is there, which is obviously connected to the farmhouse. That was completely overgrown, and good old Alf cleared that all away for us. And there would have been a tiled roof all the way along there. Might reinstate it, because that's a good place to put the tractors or lawnmowers, etc. Anyhow, let's carry on down into the courtyard. This place we love in the summer. Privacy. Let me just show you a bit more of that. But yeah, it's so nice out here. In fact, if anything, I'll find it too hot sat out in this courtyard. So we have the farmhouse here now. It's got 2 floors. The only way of getting to the top floor is this door here, or this one over here is just purely storage in there. In fact, I found an old plough in there, which is there at the moment. There's nothing upstairs at all in there, maybe the odd kittens and you find in them in the spring. But now this has a brand new roof on it, as does the barn and the coach house, and majority actually of the chateau has a brand new roof as well. Carol started clearing this out not long ago in there. I'll just pop in. I know most of you have just recently seen this, but just to show you. I think she stopped because she wants me to carry on. So in here we have cobbled floors, as we do in the coach house. Lovely fireplace with, as you can see at the back, yeah, it's showing the bread oven, or maybe will become a pizza oven. Separate room. As Carol mentioned, this is concrete on here. It's a real shame, but I wonder if we actually, underneath, there might have been cobbles. Maybe, I don't know. It would be silly to put concrete over the top of it, but anyhow, that's concrete. And then here is the cobbles, and then over there's the flagstones around the fireplace. Moving back into the courtyard, so the back of the coach house, which is interesting. So you can see originally there was a doorway in front of me, which would have gone right through and out the one that I made new doors for, and that's clearly where the coaches came through. And then the side buildings, obviously for the horses, I'm going to assume. And the entranceway, there is some double gates. Maybe this year will be a project and I'll get them reinstated, which goes out onto another street. In fact, it's Rue de la Gare. No, sorry, I beg your pardon, Rue de la Ferte. Rue de la Gare is the main entrance into our chateau. At this end, it's Rue de la Ferte. Then we have the barn, which we keep at the moment. Well, Carol's car's in there, the tractors are in there, and we're keeping all our wood in there for the winter, keep it dry. Again, upstairs, that one's accessible from inside. Clearly, I would think that's where they kept all the hay for the horses. Shame it hasn't got the original doors, but saying that, it's quite handy actually, that sliding mechanism on there. But you can see the lintel above. Now underneath where I'm standing, all of this area, we're pretty sure, we haven't actually gone completely down, but we're pretty sure is cobbles. We thought, do we want to uncover them? I mean, they look lovely, I'm sure, if they're in good condition, but actually this area being grass for us is better. So for the moment, we'll just leave it as is. Then we have the secret garden. This is really where Zach comes to play, hence why he's got his wigwam and his trampoline in there. This is the part that Alf cleared away. We never really got to the bottom of it, but we're going to call it a chicken run, but I'm sure it was something else. It's pretty large to be a chicken run. Now this cottage at the end is not ours. That's our boundary there actually. Well, it's not our boundary. That's just a small section taken out. Now, if I've got it right, the few previous owners before, not the previous owner, but maybe before that owned the chateau, built this. Then I believe she then came and lived in this and sold the chateau. The upkeep, obviously, the chateau was just too much, and that would make much more sense. Make a great gîte, but it does need a lot of work doing. I believe I heard it needs some underpinning and a few other things. So it's actually there's no one in there at all. Now, for me, when you're down here, well, it's not the best of days. This is the best view of the chateau. Stunning. Apart from my ugly van. Okay, right, let's wander back slowly. So there is approximately 10 acres in total we have. Behind that cottage, we have 3 fields. One is nearly 5 acres, or 4 to 5 acres, and then 2 small ones further down. Can't really do anything with them. They need to be agricultural use. But what we do, we try to use the fields, or let the commune, the local people, use the fields for events. So we have an enormous concert here in the summer, which is organised by the Mary, and we let them use that for parking and other events. I think I showed once we did a cycling event and running event that was used, the field was used for that. So it's great to be involved with a lot of the local stuff. So from the utility room, we have the entrance to the cellar. These are the stairs that I replaced, or updated, should I say, updated and repaired. And we do have PIR lights I've put in down here. So coming down the stairway, you can see we have the original flagstones. Lovely. And the entranceway, I think I've shown in another video, which I still haven't got round to get to the bottom of. You can see it's all been filled in, stonework. What's behind there? No idea, but one day the mystery will be resolved. It's been pointed down here, which is really nice. So coming through, so the layout of the cellar is absolutely identical to the first floor, where the salon, the dining room, the kitchen, etc. is. So at the moment I'm standing below the utility room, which eventually, well, might become a fridge area, I don't know, but we'll see. Then we have beneath the hallway upstairs, which leads down to a room at the bottom, which I'll go there first actually. This room at the end was where they kept their wine. I'll come in. Now this is directly below our enormous staircase going up. So this is where we are. And you can see, unfortunately, all empty. I've got to get down here at some time and insulate all these floors. But that's on the to-do list. All these rooms down here, or the majority of the rooms, have the windows just for light. This side being the north side, so we don't really get a lot of light on this side, but on the other side we do. Right, I'll come back to the hallway. You can see this is below the hallway itself. Again, I do need to insulate all of this. And to your right is the soil pipe, which I had to drill through all the walls to get drainage and water up to Bethany's room and our ensuite as well, because the only form of drainage we have here, luckily we're on mains drain, is in the corner where we came down by the stairs. Now beneath us, we haven't actually really played around having a dig yet, but we don't think there's anything cobbles or tomettes or even flagstones under here. But these are all the tomettes I took out of the kitchen, the original kitchen and the utility room, and all piled up because I will eventually lay them down here. Right, let's carry on the tour. So the first room we come into, this is the room directly beneath the dining room. Now I have put a ceiling in here and insulation between the two floors. And then beneath the original kitchen, ooh, duck. And we have the flagstones on this one. And you can probably hear the oil burner, which I put in last year. Well, I didn't put in, a good friend of ours actually installed it. And this, as I said, is directly beneath the original kitchen. In this room, we do have behind my temporary curtain, Carol would love that, a doorway that will take us up outside of the chateau, which we use quite often, especially in the spring, summer weather. So flagstones in this room, half the room. When we first purchased the chateau, you can see now from there onwards is soil. This was just full of coal, old coal. Clearly that's where they stored it. And although I put a bit of perspex up there for the moment, that's to stop my suicide cat bombing around. And other feral cats maybe coming in. They would have had the chute. Right, now we're going to walk through. I will mention all these doorways. We've got a majority of the doors. They're not in the best of condition. The frameworks, apart from probably this one, they've all had it. So at some time, we will try and reinstate those, again, on the to-do list. So this is now the room directly below the salon, the golden room, except this one isn't, although Carol's got some great ideas for this. That's the wall I had to put in to suspend the oak joist coming across And although I've insulated it, I do need to at some time get back and actually put a ceiling on there. But the main thing was this insulation up there. This now will become, as Cal would love to know, will become my workshop once I move out of the original kitchen, which is at the moment being used. So I'm slowly sort of prepping myself, because I'm sure it won't be long and I'll be getting the boot and I'll be out of here. You see, they're really good rooms down here, good height, they're nearly 4 meters. And then we have underneath what I call the temporary kitchen, which eventually will come snug. I think it's a bit tackler in here, but again, all the walls have been pointed. I've insulated it. I put a temporary ceiling in here for the moment. Breeze blocks or concrete blocks to hold the joists. This is the first one I did. And there you can see the pipe, waste pipe that went to the corner of the chateau and then all the way up to Bethany's room. That was already in here when we got the when we purchased the place. The wine barrel or whatever they kept in there, maybe cider. When we purchased it originally, all the floors had all fallen down, etc. Hence why all the enquiries are here. But of course, not needed now. It's all been repaired. The floor down here, again, pretty sure it's just soil. I haven't actually come across anything. Again, we'll reinstate the doors. Some of these doors are really nice, actually. And quite a few of them have, at the bottom, this cutout. And that's because they used to breed and keep rabbits down here for pate. There we have the tour of the cellar, and the size is identical to the other rooms upstairs. So it's yes, a fair size, and actually it's not actually too cold down here. I think it stays pretty static, so in the summer we quite often disappear down here to cool down.